In the event of a water damage emergency, call PuroClean of Cenla.
Hey everybody, if you missed it, PuroClean is hiring. I just shared that post. So send your information, your resume, all that good stuff over. If you're looking for a new gig, they are hiring. Always good to see a sponsor expanding. I love it. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at things right now in town. Just some clouds, nothing much going on. These high clouds are actually going to kind of serve to help things out a little bit and maybe keep storms at bay for just a little while. So we'll see how that goes. Yesterday, we had a 60% coverage in there, and you'll see it pretty much panned out. Now, that doesn't mean I got rain at my house, but I'll show you who did. Toledo Bend looking good, light wind there, and it looks like a nice morning to be out on the water because temperatures are a little bit cooler. Storms are off to the west. Got a couple right along the Mississippi River there, just north of Natchez, between Natchez and Vicksburg, around Port Gibson. Looks like some showers out there, and we'll see this fill in a little bit later on today. So the last 24 hours, this is what we saw. And I mean, if I'm eyeballing that, that's about 60% coverage. Now, if you're in St. Landry Parish, you're like, where's my rain? And most of Southern Rapides Parish didn't get any. But we did see some strong winds come through with that line, with that outflow that came through probably around 6, 7 o'clock. And that did actually, for Miss Linda, knock out her power for an hour. But they got it back on quick. That's good to see. 76 degrees right now. Clouds have held temperatures several degrees below the pace this morning, and it looks like a northeasterly wind about 5 to 10 miles per hour. The gusts will come up near storms. You have heard me say this before. It looks like we will see some storms in the afternoon, and those could bring some gusty winds. We don't have an official severe threat in the area today, but again, I think I say this every day in the summer. We could see a severe storm. Isolated storms will become more numerous through the day. There is a slight risk or a marginal risk around Phoenix. That's an oddity. Saw that as that was escaping me right there. 91 degrees, 1 p.m., 91 at 4. We're going to see temperatures largely in the low 90s for highs, and then when it starts to rain, it's going to fall off. So temperatures are going to go from the 90s probably down to the 70s. Then it steams back up. You get back up into the 80s, and it feels nasty. Does not look like we will see widespread coverage today, but I think about 60-70% of us get the rainfall, and it could be any time after about 2 or 3 o'clock. And one interesting note on this latest run of the HRRR, it actually brings in a little round of storms overnight. Doesn't look like anything crazy, but perhaps you are woken up by some storms overnight tonight. Now we have the trifecta, all three colors out there, as it looks like a lot of areas of interest. We have Erin out in the tropics, and we have these three areas, but none of these are going to impact us. So this is what we're looking at. We have this one that's going to hook out to sea. That one safely further east than Erin. Look at this tiny little guy right here. 30% chance for development on that. That's moving to the east, so away from us. And then this guy down here, 40% chance for development. If it happens, it's going to happen in the next day or so, then conditions become less favorable. So this is Erin right now, massive circulation. Saw some storm surge flooding along the coast there in North Carolina, and this is now departing that area, moving to the north-northeast pretty quickly, and it's going to speed up in the coming days. There's your three areas of interest right now. This one looks pretty impressive down here. That's the 40% risk area. This one looks pretty likely that it will develop, but that's going to, again, hook out to sea. And then there's this little blip out here. 30% chance of development. I don't see, I mean, it doesn't even look like it'd be hard for a ship to reroute around that one. That thing looks like it's about 10 miles wide. So we're not going to concern ourselves with that. But look at that over Africa, just wave after wave coming off. 'Tis the season for the active wave train, and we will be watching it all. The tropical path on this next one, this is Erin, and this is mainly to show you how fast this thing's going to get out of here now that it has made that turn toward the northeast, away from the coast, about 210 miles off the coast of Cape Hatteras, but 440 miles west of Bermuda. So it wasn't perfectly in the middle, but pretty close. Unfortunately, it did cause that storm surge flooding along the coast of parts of North Carolina. Look at this thing where it's going now. I mean, by the weekend, it's in the north central Atlantic. By early next week, it's approaching Iceland. This thing is not going to be tropical at that point, but it could be a significant extratropical storm. So if you are going up to look at the northern lights in, I don't know, Iceland up into Finland or Norway or something, well, you might want to check ahead on that. Could be a little bumpy. Now, it looks like today's our best chance for rain in the next 7 days. Heavier totals down south. For us here, I think we see a good coverage on the rainfall today. It falls off tomorrow. And then there's this talk of a cold front. Now, I do think we cool down. I mean, obviously, we're going to cool down some here. So 86 over 68, that's pretty tantalizing. That front looks like it's going to bring some drier air in. And then it just depends on where it hangs up. So if it hangs up just south of us, we're in a pretty good spot. If it hangs up overhead, we see storms and we see the humidity kind of stay up. So I'm optimistic this thing gets through and at least gives us a couple of nights in the 60s with highs in the 80s. But you're not going to have to go far north if you want to go chasing the cool weather, because look at all that blue up there. From Monroe up to St. Louis into the Great Lakes over to the Appalachians, it looks like up to the north here in parts of Arkansas, highs in the 70s, lows in the 50s. It's so close. I don't know. Maybe I have to head north or something. But yes, we do have a chance for rain again as that front either hangs up overhead or pushes just to the south. And we're going to have to see how that works out. But right now it looks like a pretty active start to the month in September after a pretty quiet end to August. Good morning, everyone. How you doing? You got rain and thunder in Creola. Did I get my photo of the donut thing between Alex and Leesville? Yeah, I've seen that making the rounds on social media a lot. They're okay. It's pretty complex to discuss the intricacies of radar, but in this case, that thing, and I don't know what any date and time and all that stuff, but there are things called anomalous propagation, ducting of the beam, that basically when you have an inversion, it sends it downward and you get these rings that show up because it's reflecting off the ground, and each ring, again, it sounds insane when I'm explaining it all, but I don't know, maybe I have to make a post about it or something. But no, it's nothing out of the ordinary. It's typical when we get that inversion out there that we see that beam come back toward the ground and it creates clutter, or in this case, concentric rings, because this thing, when the radar spins around, we do like, I think 12 or 14 tilts. So each tilt, it's going to show, if that beam is getting pushed down, it's going to show a ring around it. Again, it's complex, it's weird, but I will, I guess, dive into it. It shouldn't be anything too crazy. All right, guys, I'm out of here for today. Labor Day coming up. Looks like our forecast at this point is not looking too crazy, but we'll just, again, have to see how that front hangs up. The good news is no tropical threat for the next 10 days along the Gulf Coast. I'll be watching down in the Caribbean. Be watching everywhere, you know that. I will see you back here tomorrow. Doesn't look like many warnings today. If we see one or two out there, I would imagine Tom could handle that. And there's the wasp up there. I see him flittering around. His days are numbered, though, because tomorrow those temperatures, the average high goes from 94 to 93, and that means our slide into the coolness of fall and winter is very close. All right, I'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great Thursday.